Good morning. It is time for our market snapshot. What's happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days in under 5 minutes. Here we go. Okay, so this one is actually going to be under 5 minutes because for some reason we didn't get the statistics from our title company, so we won't have the contract trends for this go round. But the market is definitely showing some evidence that has actually surprised me just a little bit. So let's just dive into it. Okay, so as always, our black line is our buyer activity, or this is our demand. These are the properties that went under contract in the last 7 days. And then our teal line here is our inventory or our supply. So it gives us our supply versus demand ratio, which lets us know in the last 7 days, what has the trend been? Has it been, has it been, a seller's market, a buyer's market? What's been going on? So for the first time in, I don't know how long, the supply for 2 weeks has been larger than the demand. So we've actually gone into a buyer's market for two weeks in a row. So I don't know if this trend is going to continue or not, because the interest rates are dropping. And when interest rates drop, the buyers do get off the fence. The the applications for mortgages is up 30% this week, year over year. Last year. It's either 30% this week year over year, or it's 30% over last week. But it's been a large influx of new mortgage applications. Some of those are going to be refinances, but the majority of them are for purchases. And so we expect that buyer activity to start picking up because of the interest rates fluctuating now and dropping a little bit. So how long this is going to last, I don't know. So what this means for buyers is, and I've been saying this for several weeks now, this is a fantastic window for buyers to get in there and actually be able to get their contingencies, to get their inspection before they have to purchase a property. Over 50% last week were getting the inspection. The week before that, over 75% of buyers got inspections in their contracts. Getting your financing and inspection or appraisal contingencies in the contract. About 75% have been able to do that, averaging over the last several weeks. Versus once we get into that strong seller's market again, very few people get inspection contingencies, finance contingencies, and appraisal contingencies. So it's a good time for buyers because you have choices. You're going to be competing against fewer other buyers on each individual property, and you're going to be able to have the protections as you go through the contract when you're making such a large investment. So it's a really, really good time for buyers. And if you are thinking about buying anytime in the next 6 months, you need to do it now, because we don't know how long this window is going to last. We are still short on inventory. It's just been a weird blip this week. So we'll just have to see what's going on. As far as sellers are concerned, this is a reminder that you really have to put the property on the market in its best condition. You have to show it its best light, or you have to price it appropriately. Properties that are priced correctly for their condition are still selling quickly and are still getting multiple offers. About 25% up to 35% each week have been selling in the first 7 days, and those properties usually go above asking price. But it has to be priced right, because buyers have choices. They are not going to overpay for a property. It's not what it was a year ago, where you just throw it on the market and people just start throwing money at it. It does not work like that. So you can still get top market value. Prices are not coming down. Prices, when we did the numbers for August 2024 versus August 2025, we had shown a 2% appreciation over the past 2 years. July, it was like a 4%. So we're still seeing between 2 and 4% appreciation on property values, but the buyers are getting more picky because they have more choices. So you're still going to get top dollar as long as you price it right. So sellers, we need to sit down, have a consultation, let me and Kelly come through the house, tell you what it would take to get it in top condition, so we could find out what your top market value would be, to see if it's worth the investment of putting money into it, because you don't want to put money into it just to break even. You want to put money into it to increase your net income, or if it's better to just sell it in the current condition, but price it appropriately for that and what those prices look like. We're happy to do those consultations at no charge. For buyers, let's sit down, let's talk about how you can get access to off-market properties. We have over 6,000 agents in our brokerage. We have off-market properties, 4 to 6 coming on each and every week. Great opportunities for buyers. We also have access. There's a whole change in the MLS. So we want to make sure you have access to the full MLS, not just what's on Zillow. We also want to make sure that you are getting the right interest rate, that you are able to compete your interest rates against your lenders so that you can get the best interest rate for you, and that you pick the right lender, and put together just a plan that you can that can protect you throughout the whole process of buying. And again, that's at no charge as well, whether you use us or not. Hopefully you'll use us, but if not, you use another agent, at least you'll have a good strategy going forward. So if you'd like the buyer or the seller consultation, please feel free to reach out to us at 703-783-2143. In summary, really good time for buyers, still a good time for sellers, but sellers have to be more particular and more strategic when they're putting their properties on the market. All right, everybody have a great week out there, and we'll see you next week.